Alright guys, I wanted to do a simple little video and just discuss before we start the stream today that Path of Exile has come out for the Xbox One. Now, obviously, for those few that are left, people used to know that I played a lot of console. It's where I learnt to play games, it's where I learnt to make videos. I made thousands of videos for Gears of War, for all other games on console, and I've always been a fan of console. Recently, I don't really play the console version. I don't really play console version of any game, to be honest. And we just got some news that Path of Exile, the game that I have been mainly playing now for the past 2-3 years, has come to the Xbox One. Now, there have been tons of videos, tons of articles, blogs, tweets, Reddit comments, whatever you want to say about Path of Exile coming to the Xbox. But I wanted to do maybe a little bit of a different approach. Not too different, because most people have got the same sort of things to say. But sorry, my contact lens is fucking up. But I think a lot of people are getting it the wrong way. They feel a little bit cheesed off that the money they have paid into the game hasn't gone into developing the sort of PC version. They feel that their money that they've paid with the MTXs and the skins and the support packs has gone to basically creating a PC port for an Xbox of the game they like. And naturally they feel a bit pissed off. And I can understand that, but also you've got to understand that this is a company that offers you nothing, in the regards that just because you give somebody money doesn't mean they have to do with it what you think is best, right? If you buy a supporter pack like I've done, I've bought like 2 or 3, if you buy MTXs, if you buy all these things, and then you just go ahead and expect them to pump all the money into the PC version, I think you're a bit naive. The business has to grow, right? It is a business. That is why you see these mystery boxes coming out more. You see more MTXs that are more expensive because they want to get bigger. And obviously, to make new content like they do all year round, that costs money. That doesn't grow on trees. That's not free. So they have to fund it. Now, there are a lot of issues with the current PC version. Balance, performance, trade issues, all these things that I won't really go into. And they feel that these things haven't been taken care of. They've been ignored. And for the largest portion of time, the company has been spending it building a PC port. We'll run the trailer so you've got something to watch. And so they're feeling a little bit hurt that their money has gone into something that they didn't ask to do. They didn't want a PC version. A lot of people feel that it's their little baby, it's a PC only game, and a lot of people, I imagine, are somehow a little bit pissed off that their exclusive game has gone to another console, another place. But to me, that doesn't bother me. To me, it's only a good thing. To get your game out and about is a good thing. We want more people to play, right? PoE is a fantastic game. With more people playing, there will be more trades, there will be more items found, there will be more unique builds discovered. It's just a simple fact. If there was only 1,000 people playing, there's not going to be that many builds. If 10,000 people play, more things are going to be discovered. If there are 100,000 people playing right now on PC, I think there's about 70,000, and then we get another 30,000 from console, or whatever the figure may be, it may get really, really popular, and then they have a huge budget, and then they can put all that money into the PC version, into the Xbox version, and they can make it great. What you're seeing right now is the Xbox UI. The Xbox UI is a little different. You have only 4 pots, you only have 4 health pots, because the Xbox version is going to be balanced differently to the PC version. And we've already had a development manifesto that's come out after the trailer, and they've basically said that they've hired a new team specifically for the console project. So the exact same people doing the PC version are working on the PC. They've just got an extra team doing the console version. And part of the benefit of making this console team was the fact we had a 64-bit client, a DirectX 11 renderer, a new audio system. These type of things would not have come out if they weren't developing it for Xbox. So there are positives that it coming out on Xbox gives other rewards to PC. They may... The chain of order sort of thing may be a little bit different. Maybe, it takes a couple weeks work on the Xbox version, a couple months work to then see benefits on the PC version. But if there wasn't the Xbox version there, we may never have seen those benefits that are coming. It's not that the Xbox version is delaying the PC version. I mean, if they hadn't told us about this, right? If they hadn't told us that this was happening, we've just played a whole year of Path of Exile without knowing the Xbox version is coming out, and nobody has said, wow, the development rate's really slowing down. Damn, the quality of this game's gone downhill. They're not really listening to us on PC. Nobody said those things. Nobody's thought, wow, they're absolutely ignoring us, and then all of a sudden an Xbox version comes out. What's happened is the game's had more content than ever, it's been more popular than ever, it's had more players than ever, and alongside, they've been building an Xbox version. It's not like the Breach League came out and everyone went, this is shit, or Act 4 came out and everyone went, this is awful. We're still getting the exact same sort of features that we would have done without an Xbox version. Now, I know the Xbox community... Something that people haven't really spoke about is a lot of people are speaking about these type of things, right? A lot of people are speaking about the fact that the UI looks different. Now, to me, this is great. This is something that I would like to see, right? It looks neater. You can see the passive tree, the character, the skills, the world. You can see what level you are and what zone you're in. I think it's a great thing that we could potentially have big upgrades coming out, because for those that don't know, Xbox have like a very strict policy of what they accept on their game, on their system. They're not going to accept shit performance. You can't roll up with a game that suddenly dips to 5 FPS. You just can't. So they have to fix those type of things. The balance is going to be different on PC to Xbox. The only worrying thing, the only two worrying things I can really think of, is that in future design, they're going to have to think, will this work on console? Because you have to think like, they're going to have to think like that, right? You can't design a boss that's so accurate, it moves in a certain way and has certain channeled skills, and you need a certain precision mouse to attack it back, right? You can't design these type of things without thinking, can that actually go on to the Xbox version? In Act 5, let's say they created a boss that did a certain attack that could only be dealt with doing 15 key presses. We're making it up, obviously. Then all of a sudden they have to think, well, the Xbox version can't do that, so we can't do that. So there's a little bit of a worry that, yes, development may be hindered by an Xbox version, but honestly, you've just got to trust the games company, right? They're in ultimate control of their game. We can ask to do certain things, we can ask them to do certain things, but ultimately you just have to trust the company and they'll do what they want to do. I've seen it with other games. We've seen it with Gears of War, where I would spend years, literally years, giving out videos of how to improve the game and all this. But ultimately, a games company has a vision for their games. League of Legends has a vision of how they want their game to be played. Call of Duty does. Path of Exile has a vision, right? We're not really probably going to be able to change that, so you've just got to ride with it and hope you enjoy their future plans. I mean, already, I think this UI looks kind of cool for the console version. I like the fact as well, PC players might note, that on the bottom left-hand screen, it's telling you how many flask charges you've got. So it's telling you you've got 1 charge of your Vinctors, 6 of your mana pot, right? This doesn't happen on PC. You don't know how many charges you've got. You'll see it's filled up, but you won't know the specific number. So already we're probably going to be getting UI changes that are good for the game, because they have to think about console. So for me, that's great. I actually like that. And again, a new audience that is completely brand new to the game won't put up with a lot of the shit, frankly, that we put up with. So, for example, when you're new to Path of Exile, a lot of things are going to baffle you. This bar right here with all these, this can get kind of overwhelming late game. There are hundreds above your screen. Not hundreds, but you know what I mean. There are lots and lots of debuff bars above your screen. There are also no tutorials explaining how to craft. There are no real tutorials anywhere in the game, to be honest, to help new players. There are things in the game that are a little bit misleading. The wording of certain gems is a bit confusing. It doesn't really lean on giving a good experience, and a lot of the time you have to spend looking up what you actually want to do on the game on the wiki, on the subreddits, on the forums. Now, an Xbox player isn't realistically going to have access to that. So all these new players that come in and they say, actually, I want to get involved in crafting. I want to get involved in making a build and all this. Suddenly the developers can't say, go on the wiki. All the answers are on the wiki. Tab out and go and look it up. Because they can't do that. So there are going to have to be changes that make it better for new players that also don't mean it's going to be noob friendly. A lot of people are thinking that this is going to go to shit. It might do. We can't see into the future, right? It might go to shit. But there are a load of things that can come out of this. For one, we all hate PoE trade. PoE trade is a great system when it works, but ultimately most of the time the guy's AFK, he's not responding, you have to wait a while for your item, and it's hard to buy things in bulk. If you want to buy 100 beach maps, you have to message 100 people, unless for some reason some guy by some miracle is selling bulk maps, right? You can't go on the trade system and click, right, 1C buy, 1C buy, 1C buy, like on FIFA. So they can't even use PoE trade on Xbox, which means there has to be a trade system, right? Because the game thrives on trading. That is the only reason the game exists, is because trading is a fun aspect, and it is fun. So there has to be a trading system, which is again a benefit to PC, because if it suddenly create a working trade system on Xbox, then all the PC people go, hang on a minute, they've got one, can we have one? That's how it works. And I don't really see a downside. The game getting more popular can only be a good thing, in my opinion. The only people I think that are worried about it are people that are... They're not, like, indie, but they like the fact that they're the special snowflake, and it's their only game, and it's PC only, and, yeah, it's better than Diablo, and... if you want to play it, come on PC. And people are worried, I think, that it's going to get spread about everywhere and it's going to get diluted down and it's not going to be as good a product. But, I mean, like I said before, we've had this whole console port has been developed for the year. And it's not like this year has been a particularly bad year for Path of Exile. And... you know, we've had shit content delivered and shit responses from the devs and general poor, you know, a poor feeling about the game. It's been the best year for Path of Exile, and they developed a console version alongside it. So Chris Wilson's done some interviews and he says, like, the two players will play on separate realms. This is because the game functions differently in the two versions, for example, a number of flasks and how some skills may be controlled. So, they're not trying to say, you know what, Cyclone, it's too hard to play, or Flicker Strike is too hard to play on a console. Let's change it. No, they're just doing different versions. And what can happen as well is what people aren't realising is, people can go on their console, they can play it downstairs, and they can... enjoy it, and then they can think, but the PC version has more flasks, it's probably got better depth, there are a few more people playing it, I'm going to play the PC version. And then the console players can slowly transition to PC if they want. I'm sure some people will do that. They will try it out and they will like it so much they will buy a PC or they will get it on PC. It's just more eyes. Now, it's one thing I forgot to mention, I should have mentioned this earlier, is I know the Xbox community. The only other worrying thing is Xbox players generally, and I'm obviously generalizing, don't really like massively hard content. And I don't mean that in a BM way. I just mean that generally you're playing an Xbox to chill out. You don't want to grind for 16 freaking thousand hours. It's not a World of Warcraft game. And as shown by Diablo, I don't really think Diablo did well. I think it was a great port. As a standalone game, I think it was good, but I don't think it took well to the versions, the console versions. I don't think it was that popular. And a worrying thing is there is a game called The Division that I own. And The Division is like an FPS version of Path of Exile, let's call it that. And you get drops. It's sort of like Borderlands. You get drops, you make a build, you get legendaries, you upgrade your gear. And one of the things about that is I would always go on the forums and people would be saying like, I've been grinding this game for over 3 days straight and I have yet to find an upgrade for my shotgun. This is unacceptable. And then developers would cave and they would increase the drop rate until it just wasn't a grinding game. Now, people that play Xbox have to understand that sometimes you may never upgrade your gear. I have been playing thousands of hours and I've yet to find a Shavs drop. I have never found a mirror. I have never really found some crazy 900 ES chess piece. Right? These are things that just you build up currency and you purchase them because one other lucky motherfucker has found it. Or you play self-found and there is no trading, you just look for items yourself, in which that case you sometimes will never find an upgrade. If I was playing self-found, the chess piece that I got at week 1 in the league, I've played every single day, I have not found a better chess piece. In all my time playing, in all these hundreds and hundreds and thousands of hours. Xbox players generally moan when there isn't a system like Call of Duty where you level up and boom, you get a new gun. You hit level 50, boom, new gun. Level 60, new perks. You're getting stronger, right? It feels like, and I'm saying this because I played Xbox for like 8 years and I know what the community is like and I was one of them. It feels like it's like the wrong genre for console. I would like to think it works really well because I know people that play Xbox and I will recommend it to them because it's a brilliant game. But I just feel like Xbox people don't really grasp the fact that it's like a game about investment and a journey of like the progress of your character. It's not about reaching level 100. When they hear there are 100 levels in the game, they'll set off. I know they will. They'll set off and they'll try to get level 100 and they'll quickly realise that, oh, this takes too long to get 100. I'll be here for weeks. I'll be here for months. Yeah, that is the investment of the game. You build a character that you like and you play through hundreds and thousands of maps and then you might get a ring upgrade. And then when you finally get it, it's so sweet. But I feel like console players don't really get that. That's like probably my only real worry about it is that Xbox people, they have this power. I don't know how they do it, but they raid forums. I've felt it myself. They overpower forums and they have a very vocal section of the game, of games in general, that like, even though it's the wrong thing to do, they get their way. Like with Gears of War, there was clearly a way that game should have been developed and a way it shouldn't. And the vocal minority got their way because they were so vocal, because they did all that. And I wouldn't like the version on PC to go that sort of less grindy way because people on Xbox aren't enjoying it. They need to understand that it is a grinding game. Also, you've got to look at it this way. Chris Wilson said that controller support will not be added to the PC version because if we make a game, if we make the game controller viable, then we have to change the way the game works, and we don't want to change the PC version because of the existence of consoles. So it means they're keeping them separate. Now, that may change and that might be a lie, but that's all we've got to go on is their word, and they're saying they're keeping them separate. So there's no real big fuss. And it says, Path of Exile supporters are passionate about the game, and not all will be pleased to see that their money has been put into a console version. This guy, who is the lead developer, Chris Wilson, He says that almost, and again, almost, because let's be honest, right? He's not a fucking idiot. Why would you not use some of the money to fund a console version? Why, if there are thousands of people giving supporter packs, why would you not use some of that money? From a business standpoint, that just makes sense. It says almost all of the money spent on the console version has improved the performance of the PC one. The revenue generated by the console version will be spent expanding the game with new acts and other content for both versions. It just makes sense. There's no big like, I don't know how to word it, conspiracy. It just makes sense. A business has a lot of cash coming in. They create a second game with some of that cash. And then when they need to make more acts, when they need to make more changes, they will also use the money from the Xbox version. It's the equivalent of the Xbox people saying, I've just bought a load of skins on Path of Exile, and that's actually going to fund the PC version. They just both fund each other because they're the same thing. It's the equivalent of saying, why is my Modern Warfare 3 DLC on the PS4, or the PS3, whatever it was, funding the Xbox version? It's just the same company. You just got to trust that they know what they're doing. And he says, technical improvements in future updates. Do you see the limitations of Xbox having any impact on the PC experience? And it says, absolutely, they have and will continue to result in performance improvements that affect the PC version also as well. And it's just like, I don't really think there's any big fuss. People are kicking up like a really big fuss about this. Obviously, it's been like a heated debate. There's like jokes, parodies, people taking the rip. But I really don't think like it's that big of a problem. I don't really see why people are getting so pissed off and taking like jokes at it. Consoles are a massive part of gaming. Like, there are people making like wild opinions about this, and consoles are a huge part of gaming. And to me, if the game can get big on console, because I think it's a great game, I think there are plenty of people that I know just from my experience playing Xbox that will want a game that is a bit, it is a story game, but it's like a progression game, so they can come in at night and they can turn on their console and they can play PoE, they can sit in party chat with their friends, and they can play the game and progress through it and improve their characters. And I think that's a good thing. I don't really see that much of a downside to it. Like, the UI looks pretty cool. There are all these UI changes that are probably going to happen for console and Xbox, and again, I just think it's a good thing. I mean, you can look at it this way as well. Let's say for some weird reason, the Xbox really like Elemental Hit, and everybody moans that Elemental Hit is shit. Probably get changed, and then we'll have a skill that works. Just having more players on the game is a good thing, in my opinion, if the person leading it isn't a fucking idiot, right? If you have millions of people suddenly join your game, and the development team are absolutely retarded, like, let's say, I'm trying to think of a recent company that folded. It was one of those companies that got really big and folded. I can't think of the name. But yeah, if you have millions of people suddenly arrive on your game, and all of a sudden the development company goes full retard and fucks the game up because they get so happy that there's that many people, yeah, then that's obviously a problem. But I really don't think grinding gear games are like that. I think they're very dedicated to holding on to the niche that they've got, right? Because they're not dumb. Think of it this way, they're not dumb. Diablo 4 is coming. If they turn Path of Exile into this shit console version, this dumbed down console version, and then boom, Diablo 4 comes out, their players will go. Like, so they have to keep it hardcore, and they have to keep it the way it is. Otherwise, they're going to lose like their niche in the market. So I think a lot of people are just getting over the top about this issue. And also, I'm like 50% sure, Because I think Path of Exile is a brilliant game, so normally I'd say I'm 90% sure. Like, I was 99% sure Diablo would fail on the consoles. I just didn't think it would last and it wouldn't do well, and people didn't really take to it. But with PoE, I'm like 50% sure it will fail, because I still think console users don't really grasp the fact about grinding games, about these type of games. But it is such a good game, people might really enjoy it, and that can only be a good thing. So yeah, you might read a lot of shit, parodies, people moaning, 2,000 comments, not all the positive, I can tell you that. You might read all them, but honestly, I just ignore it and just carry on playing the game and just see what happens. Like, I don't think you're going to log in 6 months' time and like all of a sudden Malachi's got 1 HP, so some guy playing with a controller can one-shot him. Like, come off it, that's not going to happen. But I just thought I'd give my opinion on that whole situation, because, well, it's quite a heated topic right now. And a lot of people, I think, are going about it the wrong way. I think it's pretty fucking stupid. Like, they're getting that irate over it. I don't really see, again, any downsides to it. We're probably going to see a trade system. I mean, there has to be, right? How else are they going to trade? It's going to be a guy on a headset, and he's going to put his headset on, and he's going to be like, invite to party chat. You're right, mate. I'd like to buy your dragon tooth ring. And the guy's like, hold on a minute. Yeah, it's 5C. And then the guy's like, actually, I want to pay 5C. I don't want to pay 5C. I want to pay 4C. Fuck your mother. I fucked your mother last night. And they're just there in party chat talking shit to each other about the ring. That's not going to happen. There's going to have to be a trade system in the game. There can't possibly be a voice chat or a text chat trade system in Xbox or PoE trade. Can you imagine how long it would take to import the stats you wanted on PoE trade via an Xbox controller? You'd be like 96 by the time you typed in all the stats you needed. So I really don't see an issue with an Xbox version coming out. You're probably going to see like big YouTubers and big PoE streamers moan about it, but put it this way, right? If you're a big PoE streamer, this is the best fucking thing that could happen to you all year. Imagine Zizarian and Mathel right now, right? Their erection must be fucking enormous. They're there, top of PoE stream, getting donations, getting mad views, getting the YouTube views, and all of a sudden, loads of Xbox people want to check out new guides, new builds. They'll be checking out the streams. Their popularity will just shoot up. So if they're saying anything bad about it, I don't know what they're smoking. Because to me, if I was sitting with 2,000 streamers, 2,000 stream viewers, and they announced a Path of Exile console version, I'd have to turn off my stream and just, quickly fucking bust a nut. Because they're going to explode in popularity. If Xbox version's popular, I mean, I don't really see what people are moaning at. Some of the comments on Reddit are so fucking dumb. I mean, I don't really know what they're going on about. Like, I'm gonna kill myself. I spent money for this. It's not April the 1st. Please, God, no. 5 upvotes. This is pathetic. Dead game. And it's just like... yeah, it is. It's PC elitism in this thread, right? This, exactly. Path of Exile has just expanded its player base to another 26 million potential customers. Like, what is bad about that? I don't know. Just... I don't know. That's all I've really got to say in it. I just think a lot of people have just been absolutely fucking retarded. Like, people haven't really thought about this at all. Like, my initial impression was, PoE is going to be really fucking terrible. But after waking up this morning and thinking about it, I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's a really good thing for the game. You have 26 million people playing a free-to-play game on Xbox. If if only 1% of them come across and buy skins, that's a lot of cash, and that is a lot of acts being funded for the game. Good job, mate. Thanks for ruining PoE. It was great. It was great whilst it lasted. Seriously though, why the fuck would you waste your time and money developing a game like PoE for console? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of fucking idiots out there that aren't really thinking straight. Like, I don't know. That's all I've really got to say. I'm going to play some PoE now. I'm going to play some hardcore PoE and try and actually get into Act 3. So it's Act 3 today, hopefully. I think there's just a lot of people that are just like... I don't know if they're just saying it to like throw out buzzwords and try and get some responses. But like, next up, pay-to-win features. I don't really know many games on Xbox anyway that are pay-to-win. Really? Do you? All the games I played throughout my history aren't pay-to-win. I've never thought of a pay-to-win game on Xbox. Why would you waste your time? These kind of games don't work on console. Well, yeah, we kind of know they might not work on console, but you've also got to try it, right? If nobody tried DayZ, if nobody tried to turn a military simulated FPS game into a zombie game, we wouldn't have DayZ, and we wouldn't have had that massively popular game for many years. Like, I don't know. Exactly. This is an honest comment, right? We're not sure if this is the actual beginning of PoE or the beginning of the end. That is the way to look at it. To me, this could be like, we've beta tested this game, we've played this game for 3 or 4 years whilst it's had small player base on Steam. And then finally, it's getting that popular that Diablo people are coming across to it. New people are coming across to it. It's going to be free to play on console, right? This could just absolutely explode the game. They could have so much cash coming out of them that they could be like, yo, we're hiring 10 people right now to optimize this game full time, and you're just going to sit there and optimize the game. I think it could be a really good thing. Like this, there is no possible benefit to come from this for PC players. Like, of course there is. There are loads of benefits. We've already had a benefit. We've already had a 64-bit client come out of it. So just don't go on Reddit. Just don't go on Reddit because it's fucking shitfest. We also know Act 5 is a snow act, or it has snow elements into it. So we've got Underground is like kind of Act 1. 2 is kind of like the outside area. Act 3, you're going up this pyramid and you're going through docks and all this good shit. You're fighting Dominus. And then Act 4 is the fiery act. And then Act 5, we're going to have snow. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm rambling at this point, but I just won't get too down about it. I think a lot of people are crying about it, and it's completely fine. I really don't see an issue with it. Let's go play some PoE now. Let's go play some PoE, doodah, doodah. I wonder how they're going to attract all the new players to the game. Exactly, that's what I was saying before. That if there are no tutorials, they can't go on the wiki. They can't do, they can't do back and forth typing in, I don't know, Trade 505, because they can't really type quick on an Xbox. They can't ask all these questions. There has to be guides, tutorials, new things for new players, which is just going to get more people involved in the game. So there are definitely going to be benefits to the PC version. Because if for some reason they make a load of amazing tutorials for the Xbox version so they can understand the crafting, so they can understand these things, and then we don't have it on Xbox, we don't have it on PC, we can simply ask for it and we'll get it. So, and a lot of new players get turned off from the game, myself included. I gave this game like a shot once and I just didn't know what the hell was going on, and I stopped playing it for a month, and then I think like one day I was really bored and I was like, oh, let's try that game again. It can't have been that bad. And then I tried it again and I really enjoyed it. So I think a lot of new players get turned off right away. But I don't think it's a bad thing.